Hello and welcome. Can y'all hear me? Yes, you should be able to. Could I get a sound off from the lovely Mita?
I am sounding off, and you are sounding good on the stream.
Sounds lovely. Azure, how are we doing today?
I have not a single thought in my head, but I am here regardless.
We're not here for your thoughts, you're here for your love.
THOTT.
Uh,
Here for your thought.
Hashtag thoughts, not thoughts.
exactly.
How is everyone doing
not
today?
Warcraft.
I remember when that game was an RTS. Because I'm old.
So, everybody.
Yes.
We are playing Wanderhome today, which I'm very excited to be playing, because look at this fucking art. It's gorgeous.
So, a little bit of a story here. A while back, Kat put out a call to us. It's like, hey, if there are any games you want to try out, let me know. And we had a little Discord channel where it's like, yeah, drop the PDFs and so I can look at them. And it's like, I actually got this PDF originally from another game, from the DM of a D&D game that I'm in. And this was just an idea of like, hey, something we could do. It's a little different, and it's not D&D. And it's like, oh my god, you have me at not doing D&D because I'm so burned out on D&D. And then we never did it, and it just sort of sat there. And so I'm actually really excited to finally get to do this.
The author's note here is just lovely, but also incredibly painful. The game is dedicated to all the kids with their whole life in a backpack on their shoulders, survivors who find friends everywhere they can, drivers grabbing coffee at a rest stop with many miles left to go, and everyone else searching for a place they call home. This one's for you.
Yeah.
That's a fucking poem right there.
Mm-hmm. Kinda hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's all the credits. The journey.
We also tried to tag everybody on the social media posts to make sure that we could get as much of the people who worked on this as possible.
There was an attempt.
The attempt was made.
And
because, Lord, look at this art. Look at this art. This art is so good.
I would like to... I know we don't often do this, but because this is such a unique game, I'd like to honestly go over the introduction and kind of start slowly working our way through the book as we kind of just talk about and kind of learn the game together, because I've briefly skimmed this. I've never played it. It's gemless, which is going to be a new experience for me and I think the rest of the table.
The idea is it's like the DM gets a chance to play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also like an exercise in mutual consent. Also, there is like a blue bar at the bottom of the screen on the stream, and it sort of looks like something is misaligned.
Let me take a look.
It's like we're supposed to be at the bottom of the screen.
Oh,
and
yes.
Everything's been bumped up.
Okay, I got it.
Also, now that we're all side by side, I look huge. I'm going to scale down some more.
Okay,
Bloop.
give me.
But Cat loves giant women.
Yeah.
I know, just still. I think it's like the OBS layout has been bumped up slightly.
That looks fine. Give me a sec. No, that doesn't help. Is it... I knew what happening. Settings... I know, I don't have in full screen.
Yeah, I'm watching the stream in moderator mode, and I'm just like,
Yeah, there we are. I fixed it.
okay, waits for this. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. All fixed. All fixed.
Yeah, that's what it is. Alright, so...
Okay.
Shall we just kind of go through and start taking off turns reading? I will start at the introduction. So, the road has a song all of its own. Press your ear against my chest and you'll hear it. It is always with me, soaring across mountaintops and sleeping in the gutter where the small and forgotten gods live. It tangles through my hair and sits heavy in my boots. Some days, that song roars through my bones, louder than any storm, and other days, it hums its tune so quietly that I could forget it's even there. But I will always hold tight to it. And I'll throw on my cloak, grab my walking stick, and set foot once more. I trust the song. I trust the road. I trust that someday I will arrive at a town and lay down in the grass and know this is where I was meant to be. The road is a river that carries me on. Inside this book that you hold in your hands starts a new journey. Together, we'll set forth into the world of grassy fields, mossy shrines, herds of bumblebees, rabbits in sundresses, geckos with suspenders, starry night skies, and the most beautiful sunsets you can imagine. We will befriend stag beetles the size of houses, argue with the king of the floating mountain, fall in love in the basket of a hot air balloon up in the clouds, and make friends with some of the most amazing people you could ask for. The journey will come across the months and seasons and years, and while we wander, we will watch the leaves fall from the trees and grow again. Where will we go? What will we see? Will I find out together? Will you join me? So, something that this introduction kind of makes obvious is some of the immediate setting elements. We are obviously playing with furries as a furry animals as a large part of the campaign.
Gasp.
I know.
We're doing sort of a very Spirited Away.
Yes, that's an excellent comparison.
Miyazaki kind of thing. Secret of Nim. That sort of aesthetic, you know?
The other thing that kind of points out to me is that the kind of, because we have a land of animal folk, all of the like livestock are essentially insects, which I quite love. And it's not a game about adventuring. It's about wander home. It's about finding your place in the world, and what does that all mean? And Mitha, would you like to read the next part?
The Land of Hate. It is not my place to describe the entire history of the Land of Hate. After all, it wouldn't make for a good journey if I were to tell you such a thing before we even put on our shoes. Instead, I will simply mention that there are legends about this place that hang from the lips of every old shrew, a legend buried in every crevice of every stone. I will tell you there is a tale of the slobbering god, and the heaven blade used to kill her. I will tell you there are stories of lightning dancers and their twirling bodies, stories of the north wind god, and the one brave mouse who stood up against him. There is too the tale of the great death that all dragons feared and faced. These tales live on to this day in the land of Haith, but they're not mine to tell. More importantly, there are some facts that you'll need to know about the Haithland for your own journeys, and this may be the most important of all. The Haithland is a beautiful and boundless land, full of life and soul. It is composed of small communities separated by vast stretches of wilderness, and these communities are connected by dirt paths, waterways, and the rare hot air balloon passage. Beauty lives in endless shapes and forms in the Haith. Everything in this land holds the capacity to be appreciated and admired. Gods and spirits can be found everywhere, from the small forgotten gods hidden behind rocks and waves, to the fish-headed crossroads demons, and even great sky gods themselves. The Haith is a land of animal folk. I've seen pigeon merchants, squirrel musicians, gecko fishermen, and at least one very distinctive bartending toad. In the Haith, you can't assume much about someone based on their look. Both meat-eaters and herbivores are likely considerate and kind, and even the smallest mouths can have a lion's heart. The families of the Haith may look fairly similar to one another, or they may look wildly different. And that's frankly none of your business to inquire where the familial lines end and begin. The Haith is full of...
Other words, mind your business.
Mind your own business.
Also, for y'all that are looking at the stream, is the text readable on the
Not
stream?
Not to me, it's too small. I've been
Too
using
small?
the PDF.
Okay, I will switch to one page. Give me a moment.
Sure.
To frame this properly.
The Haith is full of buggy livestock, pets, and wild creatures. From the herds of chubby bumbles to stag beetles the size of houses, from the striders dancing across water to moonlit carrier moths carrying letters from tower to tower, bugs and animal folk live together in harmony. You'll encounter plenty of references to these buggy creatures throughout this book, and while they tend to do their best to make clear both their look and role in Haith, interpret generously and use your imagination to fill in the gaps. The Haith boasts a widespread culture of hospitality. A traveler who arrives in a new town will always be able to find some sort of lodging, even if it's sleeping in the barn with some bumbles, and will always be given food and water of some sort. There is, however, a trust within this hospitality. If you hurt or lash out at your hosts, they'll have no problems kicking you out. But if you're kind and mean well, you'll be welcomed with open arms. In the Haith, we'll be meeting people who are fundamentally good. This is an important plot point. Mm-hmm. It's like, people in this world... Yes, people in this world are fundamentally good. This will not be true of all the places you go in your life, but on the journey contained within this book, nearly everyone can be trusted to be kind. The exceptions are the mighty. Generals, lords, heroes, soldiers, and all those souls who have become weighed down by power. While they may still be good, that goodness has likely been poisoned by struggle. Thankfully, folks of this nature are exceedingly rare nowadays, and most everyone knows how to give these lonely conquerors a wide berth. The Haithland was recently caught in war, but is no longer. There is no violence here anymore.
Something that I really like about this writing style too, as I'm kind of coming through this, is there is a style of writing tabletop RPG books that is very in universe. Think of your Apocalypse World does this. The White Wolf games all do this. And like they're very writing in character. The person who's writing the book is telling you about the world through a perspective of a character. It's a role play in itself. And while that there is some of that here, it is still written from a outside perspective, and it's actively is telling you what the important things are, which I really quite like.
It is giving you the flavor of the world without, like,
Being so esoteric
dumping on you. Yeah.
about it. Do you want to go next, Azure? Sorry, go ahead. Did
Yeah.
you want to finish, Mitha?
No, you're good.
Okay, go ahead, Azure.
Most books contain stories within them, and they often know where the story will go and what exactly will happen. But one must be careful with stories. They are violent and cruel things after all, full of heroes and villains and triumph and conquest. Stories are for kings and dragon slayers, and for the blood-soaked hungry blades. It is easy, I have found, to seek to imprison the world inside our stories, to glorify the lives of powerful men, to celebrate their victories and mourn their tragedies, to build a reality where everything ties up neatly with a bow and everything makes sense. There's a comfort in stories like these, disconnected from what it means to be alive. But I'm not here for a story. I'm here for the journey. As we follow this book along its winding path, we will create characters, imagine new worlds, and take notes of the passing of seasons. This book is ours, born from our conversations and our dreams. As we journey, I will ask you all an abundance of questions, and you will ask each other questions as well. These questions serve as our foundation. They give a voice to everything around us. As we ask questions, propose answers, make statements, and offer idle speculation, we will develop our own hate and build something that feels alive in our hands. As we travel together, future choices will contradict earlier ones, narrative threads will crop up and be abandoned, and we'll often get brief snippets into matters far larger than any of us. But we shouldn't let that stop us from committing hard to earlier decisions. We can even find comfort in knowing we'll never know precisely what happened. On our journey, we must trust in the end that all the paths we've chosen were the right ones. Remember, no matter what we do, the road will carry us home.
And then this is a just kind of talking about the book. I don't think we need to read that.
Mm-hmm.
Journeying tools. We're going to be talking a lot as we journey. Our journey can only take place through conversation. This conversation may be about the paths we wish to take or the things we want to do. Sometimes we may describe our characters, their actions, or the world as it flutters around us. It's good and healthy to treat this conversation itself as a journey in which the future is unknown. As we often do not know where we are going, it is vital that we care for each other along this path, along this journey. As I've described a few basic tools and how we might do this below. Please remember that all the tools are not fundamentally conversation enders, but are instead important ways to continue the conversation healthily. When someone uses one, it is vital to accept this with compassion and grace. So these are, I'm guessing, kind of the game's a version of the game's safety tools.
Correct.
And these are like kind of safe words in a way of ways to talk about things and ways and phrases that mean something to the group and that will communicate some things, which I quite like.
Mm-hmm. It's essentially giving you like a vocabulary for safety tools that works within like this particular setting, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So first is let's do something instead. Let's do this instead. Sometimes on our journey you'll reach an impasse where continuing down a particular path will put you in danger or discomfort. You're always empowered to speak up and say let's do this instead and provide an alternate path to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If someone else doesn't want to do that, we can work together and find out where we want to go next. Some examples are, let's take a safer path instead, let's not talk about this right now and change the topic, let's not have my character lose this thing I care about, instead I'm going to let go of something I don't mind losing. It's
very collaborative.
Yeah. Having fun together. We all have different ways we travel. Some of us love to chatter away, describing every little thing we see and starting up conversations with every stranger on the road. Other people prefer to sit back and let the world pass them by. Some of us might not even want to ever go to a table and prefer to sit with a book and read by the fire. By checking in with each other and letting each other know how we feel, we can make sure that we're all having fun. If one of our friends isn't really chatting much, they might be bored, but they also might just be sleepy, or maybe they'd rather draw pictures in their sketchbook. Everybody has different ways of playing tabletop RPGs and games, and that is okay, and we want to check in with each other to ensure that we're doing things correctly. Nitha, can you read the next one?
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out where you ended.
Do we
there.
want to?
Do we want to? When you're journeying, it's polite to ask before traveling into uncharted territory. If someone asks, do we want to? It means they're interested in going somewhere new and potentially hazardous, and they want everybody's buy-in first. If you don't want to go there with them, you have every right to say so, perhaps by offering something else instead. And the conversation can avoid that area. Do we want to talk about what just happened? Do we want to grapple with the themes of health in our journey? Do we want to have trauma in my character's backstory? Ding,
Yes.
ding, 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 ding.
So much trauma.
TTRPGs can also be a form of therapy.
Where to next? When we journey together, we might get lost or stuck. This happens all the time. And we might feel like we have nowhere to go from here. Or that we have to keep sitting in the mud. Whenever we feel like that's happening, we can just ask, where to next? And then go where seems best. We're at a fork in the road. Where to next? I think this is a good spot to cut away from this scene. Where to next? So it feels like we're stuck in a rut. And we should talk about what kind of journey we want this to be. Where to next?
What do you think?
Me
Yes.
thinking in this economy?
You're still part of this table.
When I walk with friends, I tend to move a bit slower and need a bit more time than they do. In these moments, just as with all journeys, we often need people to look around and spot those who could use a bit of focus and more space to express themselves and breathe. Keep an eye out for people who seem to be talking less than you are, and check in with them by asking them, what do you think? There's a couple different paths we could take. What do you think we should do? I was considering this nature for our place, but I feel like I've been talking a lot. What do you think it should be? I've been the focus too much lately. What do you think about a moment with your character in the shopkeep?
It tries to bring in the person that's quiet and in the background and not really, like, talking much.
That's like the not necessarily the death, but some of the massive pitfalls of GMless games is the one who decides to talk the most can take control of the narrative and do everything they want to do, and it becomes about them. They become the main character. They become almost, those pitfalls of a GM NPC that, you hear thrown around occasionally. And this is encouraging those types of players to take a step back and listen, which is awesome. And I love that. Hold on. We all need to take breaks. Sometimes it's just because we've been journeying for a while and we need some water, or it's because we want to go back and look at something from earlier, or maybe something happened that hurt us that we needed to tackle it. Hold on is something we can always say to halt that's what's happening and switch gears to another topic. Hold on, before we travel to the village, I need to use the bathroom. IRL stuff, very important. Go piss, girl. Hold on, I want to cut back to the scene with the fisher. I still have more I want to say.
Go piss, squirrel.
I mean, literally.
God damn it. Sure I will.
You're welcome.
Hold on. What happened earlier to make me feel What happened out earlier made me feel minimalized and spoken over. We should talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
No. No? No one can ever make you do something you don't want to do. If some aspect of the journey doesn't fit your needs, you can always change it. While it's important to respect where everyone is at, it's just as important to make that you feel like you have agency of your character in the world around you. You have complete authority, both as a group and as individuals, to reject anything you want. No, I don't want to go to the swamp. No, I don't want someone to treat my character like this. No, this passage from the book doesn't seem right for the journey we're on. Let's change it. Hi, Aurora. Nice to see you.
Hi, Aurora.
You came in at a lovely time. This is something you can put into practice in real life that we've talked about.
Yes.
But
Damn.
as opposed to directly
no.
calling somebody out.
Which you just did, DM.
Look, they're becoming a regular, and that means that I get to bully them.
I love how Kat basically pulled the pointing to a student that walked in late and being like, and then there's you.
So cruel.
Cruel and evil GM, yes? Alright, Mitha, walking away.
All of these journeying tools assume that the game is healthy and productive for you. There is a base assumption that a conversation is the core way of navigating these issues, and that for talking things through will handle most problems. This isn't always true, though. If you ever feel like you don't want to keep going right now, you can leave. There are plenty of other tools we can use on this journey, including the X card, script change, lines and veils, the safety checklist, among others. Some of them overlap with the tools included in Wanderhome, while others give additional guidance to helping everyone feel safe. We can use whatever tools feels right for us. Azure, could you start at the top of page 15?
First few steps. There are a few things we're going to need for our journey. We'll need this book right here, paper or digital copies of all the materials we need, writing utensils, and some tokens. Tokens can be small stones, gambling chips, sunflower seeds, or anything else that is small and plentiful. While I also recommend snacks, water, comfortable chairs, and a friendly camaraderie, none are required. Yeah, y'all are stuck with me.
I don't know, you're pretty friendly, and I'd say you have some camaraderie.
Yeah. Problem is, he eats all the snacks.
Well, I mean,
There's so many mouths to feed.
this is what happens when you have just a large colony of raccoons. I don't know what else to tell you.
The sound of a bag of chips opening under the table. Hey, you can't prove it was us.
The sound of a bag of chips opening, immediately followed by the sound of a bag of chips being thrown away.
What?
Because they're all eaten.
Oh.
After we've gone through the introductions and familiarized ourselves with the Heath, we'll want to take a moment and talk about the kind of journey we hope to embark on. Here's a few questions to start the conversation and make sure everyone's on the same page. And remember, you can always return to these questions or the conversation they spark at any time. How long are we expecting this journey to last, if we have any expectations at all? Do we want a more pastoral and upbeat journey, or a world that lingers more heavily on trauma and recovery? Oh man, I wonder.
It's us. What do you expect?
Do we want a more personal journey, focused on mundane issues and quandary? Or do we want a more tangled journey filled with mysterious and magical forces? I
Yes.
don't know, mysterious and magical forces sounds pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Do we want a single person to act as a guide, multiple rotating guides, or no guide at all? Is there anything else that might come up that we want to watch out for? Once you feel set for now, everyone should pick a playbook and create their character.
So do we feel like we're at a good point to have these questions to kind of start talking about this stuff?
I mean, I'm at a point right now where I want to start talking about my character. I think we've all got sort of an idea of, like, the kind of thing that we want to play, the kind of character that we're thinking of bringing to the table. Maybe we should start talking about that.
Okay. Another thing I wanted to kind of point out is all of these journaling tools are listed right here at the as at the top of your character sheet, which I love. And there's a bunch of talk kind of things you can start going through. But I think we could go through these quick questions and then probably go to the characters. That seems like a good start. How long are we expecting this journey to last, if we have any expectations at all? I don't have any immediate expectations, but my thought is probably something like 4 or 5, 6 sessions.
At least one session.
Mitha, how are you feeling?
At least one, hopefully more like 2 or 3, because I feel like this is doing a lot of like world building and character building, and just a single session feels like an awful waste.
Yes. Especially when
how
you're
I
doing
feel anyway.
GMless, I think doing a single session, especially because we're very much dipping our toes into this game and trying to immerse ourselves in it. It's not something we've played before. You know, it's and you know, you can definitely one shot this, but I would feel that you need someone with more experience to kind of guide it more aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just kind of taking our time as following the journey as the game suggests, which I think we really like. So I would like to play this for longer, if depending on how things go. But once again, I think we've decided this is going to be a when we have time game.
But also, keep in mind, you know, we all love Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
Yeah.
We wound up playing that, what, 4 sessions? Because at a certain point, we hit a point where we're like, hey, I feel like we're ready to move on here.
Yeah.
And we do eventually hit that point, but I want to leave it open that it's like, hey, maybe we'll do 3 or 4 sessions of this.
Yeah. I like. Do you want a more pastoral or upbeat journey, or a world that lingers more heavily on the trauma and recovery?
I mean, you know me, I'm gonna do the trauma and recovery thing because, like, that's the world that I understand and comprehend.
Yeah, I like that. So, then, Mayday and Mitha, could I, you and your infinite wisdom, suggest that you keep a notes of these conversations? Because you're pretty good at keeping track of that stuff and typing quickly.
Okay. I'm gonna start a new document. 1 second.
If you would like to, I know that you will usually take this goal and are happy to.
I mean, I don't mind being the group secretary / mom. Okay, so I'm going to call this document Wander Home. And first note, we want to run for maybe 2 to 4 sessions.
Yes.
We want something that addresses trauma and recovery. All right. DM, I need you, this is very specific. I would like you to let me know when something should be made a note of, because I don't necessarily know what things I need to make a note of and what things I don't. So if you feel that something needs to be written down, let me know and I will add it to the document.
I think that goes for everybody. If anybody thinks this is an important note to make note of, I think they should have the voice to say that.
Also, I'm going to go into our little private channel and I'm going to drop the link in there so that y'all can look in the document and add stuff.
As needed.
as need be.
All right. Another thing that I kind of wanted to... How would y'all feel about this world being a little closer to the war?
Well, they did say something about, oh, hey, there was a war, but it's over now.
It's over, and it's maybe, like, been 10 years or something since the war happened.
Like, still pretty recent-ish and fresh in everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm actually going to say, I'm going to incorporate that in my character. Now, I'm going to ask a question. Who were the players in this war? What was it about?
I mean, as they were kind of saying, conquering power.
Okay. Who was trying to conquer whom? Who were the aggressors? Who were the defenders? We don't necessarily need to, like, assign a species. Just create a nation and, like, assign a name to it or something like that.
I think it was kind of somewhat of a collective kind of like uprising coup force of like a bit of a populist movement of control. Probably fascists, because it's us.
Because it's us, yes.
Yeah. Of trying to control people and things like that, and you know, bringing back the days of power and greed, and there's, you know, people are joining that army because of that, you know, type of thing. And there's like some great monster that we must fight, but that great monster was, you know, just as being manipulated as the other ones were. And it was kind of like they were pushing this nebulous concept of fear onto the people, and that's what made them obey. You know, there's a force that you need us to defend you against, you know, but that force was largely able to be handled through nonviolence as opposed to with violence. That was the only solution. You know, something maybe something magical like a plague or something. You know?
Or maybe like an army of undead.
Yeah, I like that. That's definitely a good note. An army of undead, and then a grassroots effort. An army of undead controlled by the leader. It was kind of like we created a problem and now we're fighting the problem. Using that kind of deception tactics to take over areas and have control over them. And create fear.
I like a nice touch of magic.
Would you like to add anything to this, Azure?
My best thought. I forgot that magic was involved in this one, unlike some other ones I played.
It doesn't have to be, but I think it'd be cool to add it.
Yeah, we get to control that.
Maybe before one winter, some supplies started going bad in multiple kingdoms, and they started fighting over what was left right before winter.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe it was connected to the plague or undead stuff.
Yeah, like this added on to tensions, and the tensions were only good for a overwhelming power force of, you know, forming, and like they were, you know, people were setting fires to like resources and things like that, and trying to bring out the greed in people, but it didn't win. You know?
Yeah.
I like that. We should note that as well. Did you want to add anything else to this, Mitha, before you move on?
Hang on, I'm trying to take notes. The enemy. Army of undead. Controlled by a leader, capital L. Themes of resource control and depletion, desperation. What else?
Deception.
Deception.
Pitting allies, pitting countrymen against each other.
Pitting good people against one another.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else I should add to the note?
No, I think that's a good description. Unless there's anything you want to add.
No. I'm good here.
Okay. Do we want a more personal journey, or one that focuses on the mundane issues, or do we want a more tangled journey filled with mysterious and magical forces?
Yes, the second one.
I like that too. We're already stepping into the magic with this, you know.
We want a journey steeped in obscure magical forces and less about the day-to-day. Added to notes.
I kind of have this just like really interesting image in my brain. That perhaps when this specific type of undead like kills you, you're like petrified. And so that like certain areas are just littered with bodies of fallen soldiers.
As opposed to them joining the ranks of the undead?
I don't know. I just thought that could be interesting, or maybe that was, you know, a very visual representation of the lives that were lost. I think could be cool, but if y'all don't like that, that's fine.
Well, how do you feel, Asher? I don't really have a preference one way or the other on this one.
As like the victims turning into stone statues instead of more undead.
Essentially creating like frozen in stone monuments to the lost.
Could be
How do
good
you-
for trauma.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of trauma there. Oh, yeah.
And I think we've already decided we want to have no guide at all. We're all kind of being the guide.
We are all the player and the DM on this one.
All of us are lost and none of us know where we're going. Yep, that checks out.
Is there
I mean,
anything...
it's also kind of on theme, you know.
Yeah. Is there anything else we might want to come up with that we want to watch out for? I don't think there's anything else for me.
Nothing I can think of.
I would like a 5-minute bio break.
Yeah, we're right at the top of the hour, so that'll be a perfect time for that.
Yeah. I need a 5-minute break because, yeah.
Yeah, no, sounds lovely. Let's do
Go
that.
piss, squirrel.
Go piss, squirrel.
What squirrel? No, I have a friend who's a squirrel.
Don't you know,
Damn, that's nuts.
squirrels are the most powerful superheroes.
Well, I mean, technically Squirrel Girl is rated more powerful than Thanos.
Exactly.
I love it.
I love Squirrel Girl as a concept. Anyway, go piss, squirrel.
Be right back.
You okay, Aurora? You doing all right over there, friend?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Ah, it kicked me out.
Yeah, we've lost our raccoon colony.
Oh no.
Not for long.
Where my
They
coon
say
friends at?
menacingly.
Looking at me menacingly.
Also, that's quite an achievement, accidentally making tear gas.
That's so
I
funny.
mean, actually, not that much if you know how to make it. You can technically make it with household materials. I should probably not be saying this.
All right,
Knowing
so
things, me.
let's start with character creation.
Yes.
Azure, what did you decide to pick?
Oh man, it's really a mystery. I mean,
Yeah.
all of these are just so good. It's not like there's anyone that just clearly and 100% represent. It's the Fool. We all knew this.
Me already put it on screen.
You know, the moment I saw a playbook called The Fool, where I get to be a silly little furry creature, you knew that was the one I was going to pick, and you knew I was going to be a raccoon.
Look at them. They're so cute.
There is not a thought behind those eyes. I love him.
Right? It's so adorable. The art is so good in this game. All right, would you like to read out The Fool for us?
Do we know specifically who the artist was? Is it in the credits?
Yes.
Because I want to call them out by name.
This should be at the top of the book there.
All right, I'm scrolling through the PDF.
Would you like to... What is The Fool? If you'd like to talk us through
Oh, I
this.
thought we were waiting for the artist name before I started.
No,
Whoops.
go ahead.
Life is an adventure, and there's never shame in learning new things. You're alive. Your care is silly, naive, and more profound than most expect.
Art direction by Ruby Lavin. Layout by Ruby Lavin.
Ruby, it's perfect. 10 out of 10. Mwah, chef kiss.
Is there direct artists referenced? Or did they do all of it?
There is also cover art by Sylvia Bai.
Okay.
Interior illustrations by Letty Wilson. Kickstarted by Possum Creek Games, August 2020. There's also 3 editors, the writer, Jay Dragon, and playtest, along with some consultants.
Nice. So,
Anyway,
get to choose some name and some pronouns and pick an animal. And we'll go.
I think the animal has already been chosen here.
So,
Oh, I went ahead and picked as much as I could.
cool. We'll come back to the choose two you are and two you're worried that you're actually not.
The collective has decided that Crumb has drawn the shortest straw, and he will be playing. The rest of us will be in here eating not snacks.
Not snacks, as opposed to
definitely
actually
not
snacks.
this bag of chips.
Lovely. All right. Mitha, what class did you pick?
So I have picked the Vagabond,
Vagabond.
who is a snow tigress in a green sundress.
Damn, I feel like I've seen that somewhere before.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Read us the description here.
The world's taken everything from you. Beat down on your shoulders and giving you an aching heart. Some people think you're a criminal or a monster. You know what you are. You are alive, Your care is invisible, cautious, and unimaginably deep. Their name is Tigress. Their pronouns are she, they. And choose. You want to wait on the choose two to call yourself and two you insist you're not?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
assuming you're picking a sneaky animal is the technical choice. Or a misunderstood
That or
animal.
charming.
It doesn't super matter, obviously, but these are just like the vibes of your character stuff.
Which one are you looking at?
For you,
No, it's like what are you reading from? Because
choose an
that-
animal.
Oh, I did that at the top.
Yes, but there's possum, rat, rattlesnake, raven, a misunderstood animal, a sneaky animal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that you picked sneaky animal and then picked your white tiger.
Yes, but here's the thing. A snow tiger is not actually a thing that exists.
Yes,
So, but it's like
does in this world.
it does in this world exactly.
I've just got one question.
Mhm.
Says who?
I mean, you're correct.
And I slightly more stuff.
You
here.
can't do that. All right, well, call the cops. I'll fight them too.
I picked the veteran. You wield a blade that must never be drawn again. You are alive. Your care is intense, sober, and mindful. Their name I was having a little bit of trouble on. And I was curious if y'all would like to make some suggestions. But I was
Well,
thinking...
the first thing I thought of was to joke and say that Kat's character used to wield the horny jail bat.
It must never be wielded
Incredibly
again.
Powerful.
It's a weapon that must never be wielded again.
That's so funny. This is like... But, so, kind of my thought process here is... They were a soldier, fairly high up in, like, kind of one of the major cities. The major city that this whole incursion happened under.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking that this class of people, like their gender identity and like name, is like a part of their job. It's like their gender is soldier, you know. Their name is soldier of some kind, or it's like initiate, or like their rank. You know, it's like their name is captain or something, maybe.
Mm.
I like.
I think that could be
So-
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's like captain and then a distinguishing name that they, you know, they get a distinguishing name in boot camp or something, and it's not the name they were given at birth, you know, and that is their name from now on, to kind of like dissociate them from the world in very fucked up ways.
Make notes. Take lots of notes.
But I how do y'all feel about Captain White? As
I
their
like it.
name? And they were an albino Komodo dragon.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they are a dangerous animal.
So dangerous.
So,
Dingerville.
now would you like to read your first part of the section for us, Azure? For the thing, so we can kind of go through all of them for people.
What
Choose who you are and who you're worried that you're actually not.
Ah.
Playbook stuff, you know.
Two that I am, lovable and funny. Two I'm afraid that I'm not, popular and useful.
Oof.
Which one is which?
Both.
Oh, I thought I said.
Who you
Okay.
are is lovable and funny. Who you're worried that you're actually not, popular and useful.
Gotcha. Are you writing this down?
This is
Yeah.
going on.
I've already got all this good stuff written down.
Because it's like y'all aren't using my doc, so it's like I hope y'all are keeping a doc somewhere.
Yeah, I'm using
Now,
my sheet.
Vagabond.
Okay. Vagabond.
Choose to call yourself, and 2, you staunchly insist that you're not. I love how gender is on these, too.
Yes.
Gender.
It's like I call myself a lady and a hero, but 2 things that I staunchly insist that I am not. I am not a monster. I am not a liar. I could also use cheat there.
Alright. You can put 3 if you'd like. So. Choose 2 you sometimes are for mine, and 2 you refuse to be.
Ooh.
2 I am sometimes are. Let me fill out. My care is intense, sober, and mindful. Choices. Okay. Choose 2 you are and 2 you refuse to. I am sometimes heartless and bitter.
Damn, just like coffee.
Good Hoff feature. And 2 you refuse to be terrified and beautiful. Which should be very interesting. Describe your look is the next prompt. What have you chosen, Azure?
I went with, let's see, Noble's attire, what was the word? I have it on the thing. Noble attire, a flamboyant hat, a trick deck of cards, and a complete lack of foresight.
That's amusing.
Mitha, what did you pick for your look?
She is a white tigress in a dark green sundress and sandals. It's almost like I had a plan going into this.
Oh, incredible.
So, I'm definitely taking many scars.
Ooh.
Wide-brimmed hat.
Damn, that hat wide, though.
A nervous tick.
Sort of thing that fits a veteran.
Damn, what's up with your tick? He's got anxiety.
It's a perfectly good little guy. Look, you're giving him anxiety.
And I think a billowing cloak makes the most sense. All right. What is the next question for y'all?
I like how there's no wrong answers to these questions.
Yeah.
I very much like that.
There's no wrong answers, just hilarious answers.
Choose 2 that are true about you, and 1 that everyone assumes is true. That is for.
Who are you addressing this at?
The fool, Azure.
Ah, me.
Aristotle.
Yes, you have to be specific who you're talking to.
2 that are true. I've spent a lot of time making other people happy. Grew up in a carnival or tavern. And had a really upsetting childhood. Possibly grew up in the wastes or a labyrinth. And the one that everyone assumes is true is you don't know a lot about the world. Farm/tower.
Interesting. Mitha, what is your questions?
2 crimes I've committed: slaying a dragon, wrecking marriages. 2 crimes I did not commit: high treason and lying under oath.
The treason was actually committed sober.
Could you say those again, please?
The ruining the marriage was fucking hilarious, though.
Okay, 2 crimes that I have committed: slaying a dragon, wrecking marriages, because it's funny.
Yeah.
2 crimes I did not commit: high treason and lying under oath.
Okay. Cool.
And yes, I've written these down on the sheet that I started, because, I am keeping notes on my character at least.
Yes. Homewrecker is a pretty cool title.
Look, Mitha can't help that her character was just better looking than the other option.
You have a sword. You can unsheath it whenever you want. You must never unsheath it. Choose 2 to describe your sword. I'm terrified what starving means. You know? Makes me really want to
Maybe
pick it.
one of those cursed hungry swords.
I kind of have to pick this. Because it's such a fascinating... like... What does that mean? And I love that. I think I want to pick it because of that.
Which one?
Starving.
Cursed hungry blade. You know, like Muramasa.
All right. Next, we have Azure with choose one to carry with you, and one you're confident is around here somewhere. You're just not sure where. Tell the table about them.
Somewhere. We just don't know where. The one I definitely have is the bag full of money.
Okay.
And the one that I'm sure is around here somewhere is the small and forgotten witchy god, Seedy.
Wait, what is this? Seedy, a small and forgotten witchy god who has decided to accompany you on your journeys.
Excellent.
They I haven't lost them. They're just wherever they wish to be.
That's amazing.
I love it.
So, could I propose something to you, actually, Azure?
Damn.
Coming on strong there. Wow.
What if I was your
Same
character's charge? Like I was your assigned protector. Your assigned noble protector.
Is this at my character or Mitha's character?
Chip is what you said his name was? Their name?
Crumb.
Crumb. What are not Crumb's pronouns again?
He, him.
He, him. Yeah. I was assigned to Crumb. I was your, like, assigned noble protector. Do we like that?
Crumb has probably driven him very close to drinking.
If not, he's already drinking.
So it's I'm going to change their name to Protector.
Hell yeah.
Protector.
I find this idea cute.
Yeah.
Now, this is you and Azure's characters, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Choose one you carry with you and one that's been stolen from you. Tell the table about them. Mitha.
Okay. Something that I carry. A book of magic spells you picked up from a witchy crone that you can't read. Something that has been stolen from you. A tattered blanket. The last thing you have as a memory of your parents.
Oof. God, y'all, we're making some sad characters.
I mean, I warned you coming up front that this was going to be like some
That's my
trauma.
secret cap. I'm always set. No, I can't do that one.
All right.
It's my secret cap. I'm always traumatized.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
So, I think that those symbols mean something. Yeah, that like plus and two, that line and two crosses through it.
Possibly.
Index. Their traits, maybe. Letter S. Yeah. 130. Personal, yeah. So These all have very they all have very specific meanings. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Traumatized traits. Hell yeah.
Ah, damn. Just what I was looking for.
A starving kith has been denied their hunger for too long. It's burning them up inside. They're often hungry ghouls, spiteful wardens, and the shadows of monstrous gods, among others. Choose one of two they can always do. Gnaw on what's left, blame the wrong person for your hunger, name a person, place, object, or secret. If someone wants to hide it from you, they're going to need to spend a token.
Ooh.
So all of those symbols have specific in-game references to things, to moves, essentially, that people can do. And this is the stuff that my sword has. These are traits. The list of traits. There's artistic, grounded, intellectual, personal, physical, social, and traumatized traits. So any of those symbols will correspond with various traits. They mean something. They're not there just for shits and giggles, essentially.
You don't see these symbols on Vagabond, so I assume you're not talking to me.
I believe you did the Witchy. The book has.
Oh, the Witchy Crone thing. Okay.
So you look
That's
at
what you're looking.
if you look for Witchy and the traits, you'll find out what that means. Specifically.
Witchy trait. 119. Okay.
So, choose one lesson you've learned and two you've since forgotten. Tell the table about them.
The Witchy Kith is skilled at quiet and tricksy magics. They are often healers, court magicians, and kind old ladies that live in a swamp, among others.
So that's who owns the book.
That is who owns the book. Yes.
I think the one lesson that you've learned is a royal monarch taught you violence is just the way to maintain control. And this is why you must never unsheath your blade. I think this is more of what we were talking about. This monarch that took over.
Mm-hmm.
They were all about violence and control and, creating shortages so that people would be desperate and those people would listen to them.
This seems right in keeping with the theme of the game.
Damn, this person sounds like an asshole.
I mean, they're dead, I think.
Thank goodness. Don't speak ill of the dead. Alright, don't be an asshole while you're alive then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think your once lover recoiled from you when they saw the blood on your hands is going to be one of the lessons I've since forgotten. This is why you must never unsheath your blade. And you saw and I think the second one I haven't learned was, or have forgotten, is you saw in the eyes of someone you thought was heroic the fate that awaits everyone who only knows violence, and this is why you must have the fate that awaits everyone who only knows violence. This is why you must never unsheath your blade. Those are the two lessons I have forgotten.
Have you forgotten these lessons?
I don't know.
Woohoo! So, where we at?
We're on stream.
Wait, really? Ooh. I gotta.
Oh, you meant in the book.
Oh! Pogging.
We stopped at some point to look over the little symbols and what they mean. I think we were on your character.
I was doing my. I was finishing up my bit.
That's my secret cap. I was doing a bit.
It's always a bit, if you try hard enough.
What are you trying?
As the great doggo proverb goes, do not bite the hand that feeds you, but a nibble is okay.
This is a doggo proverb.
Mm-hmm. It's a doggo proverb.
Do not bite the hand that feeds you, unless they're into that. Sounds like a cat proverb.
Know where my brain went with it, but okay.
Sorry, I'm just making my sheet look not awful as I add these choices onto.
As we make decisions. Love languages bite. Yep.
Yes, love languages bite.
I'm fairly certain Silver would agree if he were here. And Cat would be a strong second of that opinion.
Exactly. Must bite.
If you bite the hand that feeds you, you stay down on your knees.
I mean, if they want me to,
Sorry, it's a song.
I'm aware. I took your singing as a.
Oh, hello, where? I'm a raccoon.
Hmm?
She said, I'm aware.
Oh, very good.
That's silly.
Yes, I am. What Protector has to deal with on a regular basis.
That's so funny.
Damn. I already used the Kronk accent for Goblin with a fat ass. I'll have to think of a different accent.
I mean, if you want to
Says you can't.
cronk it up, go ahead.
Why can't you use it again? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I gotta use it sparingly so the audience, it's more of a treat for the audience.
That's true. That's true.
You're trying to build demand.
Yes, by creating scarcity. Except this time,
What are you, a capitalist?
except capitalism has nothing to do with it.
All right. So we're at ask one to the left and one to the right. For Azure, I will be to the right. Mitha will be to the left.
My left or your right?
Mitha is left, so ask her a question first. Of these.
Um, I was about to ask the second one, then I realized it's a little confusing. What did you show me that no one else could?
Yeah, what did your character show Crumb that no one else could?
How to throw a punch.
Or at the very least, how to put a brick in a pillowcase?
I said what I said.
All right.
How to throw a punch.
I like it. Do I ask one to your character now, Kat, or do we go
Yes.
to the next person? Kat?
Yeah, ask me a question.
Okay. To his protector, what do I say that you've gotten so tired of?
I didn't do it.
That's pretty funny.
Damn
I kind of like the idea of let's go on an adventure.
What could possibly go wrong?
No, that's it. What could possibly go wrong? Yes, absolutely. I love that. What could possibly go wrong? That is my choice. All right.
Possibly go wrong.
With a strong second being. Would you still like me if I were a worm? Beautiful.
You implied that I like you.
It is a is a kimono dragon. I am a worm.
Don't I'm pretty sure like lizard stuff eat mealworms or stuff like that, like the ones chickens eat. I just imagine it's like, would you still like me if I were a worm? And his answer being yes, for dinner.
All right, Mitha, I am to your left, Azure is to your right. So ask me a question first.
What do I still have to do to earn your trust?
So we haven't really established why you're a part of our, you know,
Correct.
various
The root.
band of miscreants.
Correct. So, what the fuck am I doing here?
I kind of like the idea that you tried to steal something from Crumb, maybe. And-
Like what?
I don't know, the bag of gold.
Tried to steal something valuable. Crumb just looks all hurt and upset. It's like, you tried to take my last snack pastry. And they're just like, no, I wanted the gold. And it's like, oh, you can have that.
And I almost kind of like the idea that you're here because I think you need to be taught a lesson. And I don't trust anybody else to do that.
Okay, so back to my original question. What do I still have to do to earn your trust?
Prove that you're not going to steal from the helpless.
I like that one. You got a question for me, Mitha?
I'm just making notes.
Ah, you're good. That's fair.
Very important.
How have you helped me when no one else would?
You know what?
I'm trying to ask the questions that make the things really the most interesting, the most messy.
Probably vouching for her good character. It's just like, they have a great sense of character. I could totally trust this person around my snacks because I know they wouldn't take them. Meanwhile, is actively pickpocketing shinies from them. What's that phrase? It's about the goods.
This is what happens when you're dealing with starving people. Okay.
And my question.
I love what gremlins we are.
Absolutely.
Just moving stuff around.
We are absolutely gremlins.
Okay, back to
Much gremlin,
my
many
questions.
chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Mitha. Or Tigris. Tigris? Is that
Tigris.
Tigris? Okay.
Yes. Long eye.
Tigris. How do you
Yeah.
help me stay in control?
By talking to you. Sometimes carefully, sometimes very calmly, but talking to you. Giving you a little bit of, like, human connection, communication. It's all about communication.
I really, really like that. That's... Oof.
Thank you. It just sort of seems like this is a character that really needs the human element to sort of to keep them grounded, you know?
Yeah. What do I still need to learn from Crumb?
How to have hope.
That's one that I could probably stand to learn too.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this character's meh.
We're creating very messy characters.
All right. So, some things you can always do. You get all of these and you can put them on your character sheet. Let's get them all copied over, and then do you want to read those out for us? Yours, Azure?
I got meander around, give great advice, give terrible advice, do something funny, ask but why, and ask what's going on.
Mitha?
This is on page 101. That was a question. What page?
It'd be right under your ask one to the left, one to the right. It's going to be page 103, the one below. Some things you can always do.
Ah, okay. Some things you could always do. Be somewhere you're not supposed to be. Have something you're not supposed to have. Mutter something you're not supposed to say. Lie. Say, I have a bad feeling about this. And it's going to be said in the Princess Leia voice, by the way.
Of course.
God, these are so perfect.
And ask, do you trust me? They get a token if they say yes.
Oof, that's good.
Now, we get all of these?
I believe so.
Yep. That's what you said.
Oh, God, mine are so painful.
Oh, tell us about them.
Let's hear it.
I have repeat a calming phrase, spend time practicing a craft you're not very good at, drum against the pommel of your blade, leap to your feet, say, I don't do that anymore, ask, what are you hiding? And the last one, unsheath your blade and immediately kill the person in front of you. Then remove your character from the game. You can no longer play them anymore.
Wow.
Damn, that last one is a nuke option, huh?
It's like mutually self-assured annihilation.
Yeah.
Because it's like you annihilate another character, but you yourself are removed from the game. Wow. Mutually assured destruction.
Neither of us get to play these characters anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Holy moly.
Oh, I love it.
It's like you destroy somebody else's character that they're very attached to, but you lose your own.
Also, my partner just sent me the greatest meme. I'm sharing it in the chat.
When are we gonna get to meet this partner of yours? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. You keep bringing her up and I'm like, hey, let's hang out. And then you never...
I keep bringing her up. Yes, she's absolutely real. Stop asking.
Oh, that's excellent.
Press
what you
F
just
to
sent me.
doubt.
Ah, I love what you just sent. That's so funny.
It's perfect.
All right, where was this?
I have one thought, or we have one collective thought, and it's Pedro.
Pedro.
How is you done making tear gas for fun over there, Aurora?
For fun and profit?
It can be done for profit.
I mean, there's an entire like industry that does nothing but like profits off of making weapons of death. We call them the military-industrial complex.
Damn, and here I was making people cry and for free.
I'm sorry, but if an ancient dragon wanted to be my mate, I would simply ignore the imbalanced power dynamic and problematic age gap, because it'd probably be really hot.
Wow. Okay.
That's funny.
So, where were we?
Being distracted.
Yes, this is me re-railing the conversation.
There's rails on this train?
I mean, generally, it being a train implies the existence of one or more rails.
I don't know. A raccoon with a chainsaw and begs to differ.
You know that scene from the Polar Express where the train is just flipping around
Yeah.
on a river of ice? That's
Yeah.
our campaign. That's us in any given moment.
Yeah, exactly. A raccoon with a chainsaw, I think, would beg to differ. All right.
Chainsaw noises, but it's just me tearing into a bag of chips. Or a corn on the cob.
All right.
God, that sounds good right now.
Corn. So, we can now add our advancement questions, which are the during each seasonal holiday.
Who do you want to go first?
These are just, we can note these down on our character sheets. We don't really have to worry about these right now.
Okay.
That's my secret cap. I never worry about anything until it's too late. So, things to note for later. Got it.
So, now that we've gotten that out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
let's go to... We did journaling tools, we did having fun together. We did our first few steps. Playbooks. We can go back here. That's character creation for you. Each of us will be playing travelers journeying across Heartland. Your characters may be from wildly different places and have wildly different destinations, but they're each united by the journey that they're taking together in this moment. To make a character, first thing to do is change a playbook. Blah, blah, we did that.
I'm sure I'll forget by next week. Mood. A lot of people think the recap is for the audience. No, it's for me. It was always for me.
It's for all of us, let's be real.
But it's also good for the audience, too. I mean, let's face it. Everybody gets something out of the recap.
Yeah, we don't... Yeah, we already went through all that. Let's now tokens.
So, how are we doing tokens, DM?
Well, let's read. Azure?
Oh, reading. Oh gosh.
I can call on somebody else if you'd like.
What page am I looking for?
You are looking for 18 in the book, 29 on the PDF. At least that's what page it's saying on.
Tokens. There is a rhythm to the way we move through the world. Sometimes we give others all we have to offer, and through that we can find strength. Here this rhythm is represented through tokens. Whenever one of us makes a personal sacrifice, sticks our neck outside our comfort zone, or pays close enough attention to the world around us, we'll get a token. It might be easier or more natural for some of us to do these things than it is for others, but that's no matter, as we'll all get tokens regardless. After gaining tokens, we can then turn around and spend these tokens to shape the world. These actions always push on or solve something important which might not be easy to resolve on its own. We'll sometimes catch ourselves inadvertently doing these anyway. There's an important difference between following a course of action that hopefully will help someone out and spending a token to declare, I am taking a stance here. There is strength in that sort of fundamental truth. There are other ways you might get tokens, but you'll learn about that later.
Wow. Okay.
Get a token whenever you inconvenience yourself to help someone else, give away something you hold dear, pause for a moment and get some rest, which I love that, leave an offering to a small and forgotten god, speaking your true feelings on a subject. Take a moment to bask in the grandeur of the world and describe it to the table. Take a moment to watch a tiny moment of beauty and describe it to the table. Take a moment to marvel at something that no one has ever seen before and ask the table to describe it. Do you want to read Spend a Token here, Nita?
Provide a solution for an aspect of a material or an immediate problem, and it's spend a token in order to provide a solution for an aspect or a material or immediate problem, ease someone's pain if only for a moment, keep someone safe from the difficulties of the world, offer someone the chance to connect with you on a personal level. You spend a token to do that. Interesting. Find what someone needs to give them a chance to change fundamentally. Reveal something hidden about the person in front of you and ask them what it is. Know something important about the place you're in and tell the table about it. Listen to the shared wisdom of many small and forgotten gods and ask the table what they should tell you.
Failure. You notice that nothing in Wanderhome tells you to do concerns itself with failure. This doesn't mean you can't fail. Indeed, you can choose to fail whenever you'd like. Instead, Wanderhome is a game is preoccupied with failure. Often in life, we don't fail. Sometimes we struggle to do something, we get passed over, or do something we wish we hadn't, or give up. But even in those moments aren't truly failures in the pejorative sense. Mistakes, maybe, suffering at the cruelty of others, listening to your body and your brain, and accepting their natural limitations. That doesn't mean you're a disaster, and it doesn't mean you failed. Your journey will just continue on another path. That's powerful.
There's nothing wrong with you. You just got a head full of bees.
I'm sorry.
I love that meme.
There's nothing wrong with you. My head is just full of bees.
Exactly. I have a feeling this game sort of does that a lot. It's like, there's nothing wrong with you. Your head is just full of bees. That's all.
The meme about you need to wake up, but instead it's you need to release the bees.
Release the bees.
All right.
Be free.
The kith around you. Azure?
Ah, the kith.
Do you need a page?
No, I was just laughing to myself out of character because the pronunciation made me think of fight, kith, kith.
Okay, so I'm not the only one whose brain went there.
Okay, thank goodness it wasn't just me.
No, it was not just you.
The kith around you.
Kith.
Our characters aren't the only people in Hay. You're going to encounter a lot of folk, from powerful monarchs to nervous kids, from gentle innkeeps to snarky ship captains. Gosh, I hope so. From friendly farmers to cruel commanders. As you're making your characters, you're probably even making choices about what sort of kith and kin you already know. Whenever you bring someone up, write down some information about them. You don't have to write down much, but if you ever encounter them on a journey, you should take a moment and figure out a bit more. Traits. All the kith and kin you encounter, from the mightiest gods to the smallest vole, have traits. Traits are character descriptions, but they're also ways for whomever is currently playing as that kith to make choices and breathe life into them. As we make choices about our characters, it'll often suggest traits for the kith in our lives to have, written in italics. You can find all the traits in the traits section on page 113.
So, like Witchy, we ran into earlier.
Yes.
Yes.
So if your creation, the creation of your character created the existence of a person, which I believe that we all did, let's spend some time in making these characters.
Mm-hmm.
So name and some pronouns, animal form, relationship, single detail, at least 2 traits, and all that stuff.
So we're creating NPCs at this point.
More or less, yes.
Okay.
Basically,
Our bonds, if you would.
yeah, NPCs that the creation of our characters suggest that exist.
Like the witch.
Yes.
But witchy one.
You both had a witch, kind of, right?
Maybe it's the same witch.
I would love it. It's got to be.
Maybe the one I know is the little familiar of the one you know. Or at the very least, whose book you have.
No. Yeah, I love that. It's a familiar of that. That's super cute. Cool. I love that.
Also, Tiggs did not steal the book. She was given the book freely. Because the witch told her, you're not going to understand this right now, but you will later, and didn't explain what it meant. That is why she has the book.
The book which is in your possession for any number of reasons?
Well, I'm suggesting what the reason is. She was given it, but told very specifically and up front, you aren't going to understand this right now. You will later, and then didn't elaborate on what it meant. I have a very specific thought about how this character...
This is a surprise tool that will help you later.
This is something that the GM can use and decide later.
So, Miko.
Yeah.
Because you are a note taker.
Yeah.
Would you like to create... and if this is going to mess you up, don't... please tell me no. But because you are keeping a Google Docs, how would you suggest... How would you feel if we put a section in there for NPCs that we all could write in?
Oh, everyone could already write in this document. I'm just going to create a subsection for NPCs.
Yeah.
Piece of cake. Where's the headings? Format, paragraph, styles, heading, titles, heading. The witch had a familiar who was given to... Was it the protector to protect?
No, given to the fool.
Given to the fool to protect.
Was that what you were saying? What is the reference of the familiar?
Did I understand that correctly?
The fool has befriended the familiar somehow, probably with snacks, but no one is certain.
Yeah, Seedy is the name of the familiar. They're actually a witchy god. It is spelled... I'm going to put it in the spelling.
They are incredibly powerful and should be worshipped, respected, and given snacks, according to them.
Yeah. So yeah, and all of these NPCs, and Azure, because this is your NPC now, CD, you get to make CD, and you get to make the witch, Mika.
NPC working clear. Pizza. Okay. Remember back when we were playing Girl by Moonlight? I specifically said it's like this NPC has this NPC wrangler. So it's like it's the person who owns that NPC and like gives them traits and can voice them. Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know what you want to do with that, but this is what each fleshed out NPC should have roughly this.
Manifestation. All right. I will work on that.
Yeah, this is just general.
I want the witch to be a house cat.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Here is CD for you, Azure, if you want to open up the Google Doc.
A copy and paste.
What?
Wimps.
Kinda quirky and toxin, mysterious and veiled, in parentheses, read dense and unintelligible ways. I like that. This amuses me.
What beautiful animal is Protector's ex, more or less? What do you think?
Who are you asking this of?
Just the table.
Yeah, I'm a bit lost.
So I have a prompt. That's one of the lessons I've forgotten. Is your once lover recoiled when they saw the blood on your hands. This is why you must never unsheath your blade.
So we're going to decide your former lover.
Yeah.
This former your last wife.
Yes. It was very much had to be in secret though, because was not allowed because I was a protector. I was my mind, body, and soul was already dedicated to the crown.
Mm-hmm. You were creating this character, yes?
Yes, I'm just looking for suggestions on what animal form this creature could take. Something very beautiful and alluring.
And you are
I'm a kimono dragon, an albino kimono dragon.
She was a dragon.
Oh, I was going to suggest songbird. I didn't know dragon was an option.
There's a whole thing in the beginning about dragons, and like they apparently have been like hunted, and that is why like there is a thing in Tigress's story about there being a dragon, and she killed it. Now they don't have to be the same one. In fact, it might cause way too many complications.
I would prefer if she was still alive.
Yeah, I'm sort of suggesting it's a different one. Because that causes too many problems for Cat's story.
Are they called like pixie dragons?
Fairy dragons. A beautiful and alluring creature. So how do you like that suggestion?
I like that. Yeah. Her name is Aurora.
Aurora. Is it or is it not spelled in Uwu?
It is not spelled in
A wawa.
That was not meant to be to be serious.
Explorer of...
What is your character's name? I just have the Protector. Captain White, you said?
Protector White.
Protector White.
People who want to be personable to them would call them White. Ooh, that's very good. Her pet name for Protector was Snow.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Traits. Let's look at some traits. Oh yeah, she is glamorous. I love that. Are you making this? Are you making your NPC, Azure?
On my sheet?
On the... You can make it... Well, we're kind of creeping on the Google Doc.
I mean, the entire idea of the Google Doc was that it should be, like, used by everyone.
Yes.
Creeping is not a valid descriptor here. You're not creeping on a document if it was intended to be shared.
I will copy paste it from my thing to the document soon.
When you want.
Oh, this is so good. Personally, I'd prefer if we kept it in like the bullet pointed way I'm doing it, because that's easier for me to read, but...
How is that different from how I'm doing it?
Very different. But...
Okay.
See how I'm like spacing things out in the way that...
Keep two things in mind. First of all, you're talking about something that the stream cannot see. Two, you are just using outline style, I'm using paragraph style.
Yeah.
Because I tend to think in terms of writing a story.
And I think of in outlines. This is how my brain works.
May I request that we not sit here and be like, oh, well, can you please use my system? Because
no,
like,
of course not. Yeah, I would not.
It's like you're asking somebody to like think in a way they're not used to thinking.
Yeah.
We can fix it later.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of those things where it's like we can come back and change how we organize this later. That's not what's important right now.
I'm just trying to get some stuff down.
I think it's more important to get stuff down right now. Put the ideas down on the paper. This is something my creative writing teacher used to always tell me. Get it down on paper now. You can clean it up later.
Write it first, fix it later.
I love that empathetic is a magic trait. That's super interesting.
Can we, like, give these traits to our characters, or...
You're explicitly supposed to give these traits to the NPCs.
Oh, that's not what I asked.
Sorry.
Can you give these traits to your character?
The PCs?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Because they are kind of explicitly...
Or the NPCs?
There are ways to give the NPCs moves in the ways that our characters already have moves. You know? I think is the way that it's is kind of been done.
Yeah, just trying to understand how the system works.
I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest, but that's my initial impression. That's how this works. There might be a way to give yourself these traits, but...
If that's not the intended purpose, then that's not the purpose. I'm just sort of, trying to understand. Like, what is the point here?
Because, like, I don't know if that's... I don't want to say that you can't get these traits. But... the traits are essentially the traits are giving the characters, these NPCs, the list of some things you can always do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the traits are, is giving them abilities, essentially, is what I'm interpreting this as. You know?
So how many traits does the witch need to have, for example?
At least 2.
Okay, so she has 1. She needs 1 more.
Yes, and then make sure that you list what that trait gives them access to. Like, for instance, Aurora has Glamorous, which makes her be able to dazzle and stun everyone who beholds you. And she can tell someone to look at you. If they want to look away, they're going to need to spend a token. And she has Empathetic, which allows her to be able to non-verbally ask, what are you feeling? If they don't want to answer you truthfully, they're going to need to spend a token.
I don't think Cat could look away from a pretty woman even with a token.
You know, you make an excellent point.
You can spend a token to not look at her when she asks. Unless you're Cat, then you just have to do it.
That's so funny. I love being witch in a room full of witches. Reminds me of Blair from Soul Eater. Little voice is something I'm used to. Yeah. Also, funny enough, Aurora, that was not even I didn't even process that's your name on Twitch. That's so funny. I was just thinking about Aurora Borealis. Though I have literally put Pizza's characters in games, so... Meow is fine. I thought it was funny. Yeah. Alright. That's all the traits. Cool, cool, cool. I also need to make the sword. If you do want to do it, organize it that way, Mitha, I would appreciate it, but you do not have to.
I'm trying. That's much easier for trades because they are already in that layout.
Yeah. Don't do it if you don't want to. That's.
I need a name.
She does need a name.
Ah, here we go. This will work. You know what? There we go. There we go.
I also feel like I need to make my blade a character, considering it has the trait starving. I also
Wait, it what does it eat? Do I want to know the answer to that?
I
Do you?
don't know. That's a question I can't answer. Yeah, I gave it. It looks unremarkable unless you know what to look for, and it's starving. This
You
means
gave it that trait?
yeah,
Okay.
and that means a starving kith has been denied their hunger for too long, and it's burning them up inside. They're often hungry ghouls, spiteful wardens, and the shadows of monstrous gods, among others. Choose 1 to 2 they always can do. They can gnaw on what's left, blame the wrong person for your hunger, name a person, place, object, or secret. If someone wants to hide it from you, they're going to need to spend a token.
Oh boy.
Trying to think of. I'm just gonna call. Yeah, it's just called the sword. It doesn't have a name. It's unassuming. It's just a blade that I carry.
It's just a weapon.
Oh, I am absolutely making the familiar dramatic.
Oh, very good. Oh god, I'm loving this world building.
Play up emotions to absurd levels. Yes. Oh, good. The options for Witchy are 1, cackle, 2, mix assorted components to create something new, or probably my favorite, 3, point out a personality flaw someone hasn't been dealing with. If you're right, put a curse on them. If they want to get rid of the curse, they're going to need to address their flaw.
I've actually like already used that.
Damn. Then I'll take cackle and mix assorted components.
No, like I used the last 2 already.
To be fair, there's only like 3 in each, so
Yeah, there's only 3 options.
so don't
My
worry
suggestion
about.
would be not to make another witchy character when we've already got one.
It just comes with the character.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is their familiar. It makes sense.
I will take cackle though, because that still sounds hilarious.
Yeah, I did not take that one.
I mean, it seems to fit perfectly with dramatic.
My favorite thing is the traits heroic and royal are traumatic traits.
I have made a royal character before, and she was very traumatized. That absolutely tracks to me.
All right.
They got witchy, confident, and dramatic.
Said you need at least 2? Okay.
At
She
least
has
2
at least 2 now.
Cool. I've made my characters. This was really fun.
You said at least 2 kith?
At least 2 traits per character.
Ah, yes. Currently, I only have CD, but they have 3 traits and 5 things they can always do.
Okay. Well, I just have the one character, and she has 2 traits.
Does your backstory, your prompts and choices suggest that any other characters should definitely exist?
Do they?
It's up to you.
Wumpst was the question.
Essentially, for instance, I have a lot of my prompts directly suggest characters they're about. And then, so I'm going through and making those characters.
And I sort of feel like mine don't?
Then don't. You can also make other characters you want to make if you'd like. That can pop up when we want them to, but we can also just have those characters pop up when when we feel that it's necessary.
When it makes sense in the story for them to appear.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have my sword, which is starving, so I made a little note for them. I have the royal monarch, who's very clearly in our story we've decided is dead. Though that's also a trait I can give them. So
Dead.
I might have to create them. There's the once lover, which I created. And then you saw in the eyes of someone who thought was heroic. The fate that awaits everyone only knows... The fate that awaits everyone who only knows violence, and this is why you must never unsheath your blade. I think that's the same as the royal. Is they thought they were being heroic. So I think I really only have one more character to make. That's royal, dead, and heroic. So I'm just going to make a note of that really quick. 'Cause that's... What's the monarch's name?
Quincy.
Quincy? Alright.
It's just sort of something I pulled out of nowhere.
Be him.
Because of course.
He is a lion.
Unmitigated douchebag.
I like a lion.
Okay. It's sort of Prince John energy here.
Yeah. That's a single detail of their name, pronouns, animal farm, the characters, and then traits. Royal. Dead. And that gives them access to they can send a chill down someone's spine. And
Fun.
shows someone something they truly don't want to grapple with. If they want to avoid thinking about it, they're going to need to spend a token.
Damn, you mean like my issues?
Yeah.
That's illegal.
Heroic Kith believes they are the savior of the world. What a cruel fate indeed. They are often dragon slayers, leaders of rebellions, and those arrogant enough to seek power among others. They can know what's best for everyone. And declare someone as fundamentally good or irreversibly evil. If anyone wants to prove them wrong, they're going to have to spend a token. Loyal, as our last, is a rules over the land with authority and lonely gravitas. They're often arrogant kings, towering giants. And those destined to be undone by their own glory, among others. And engage in petty and useless displays of power. That's what that gives them. As well as... yeah, I like that. Cool. That's all my characters. Does anybody else want to make any more? Or have any more that's clearly needs to be there?
I might be able to think of one over the next few days, but
Yeah,
right
we
now
don't need
all I've
to-
got is CD.
Cool. What type of house cat is Tora? Black cat?
Yeah. I think that actually makes the most sense.
Alright, we all ready to move on?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Our first place. Alright. We'll always begin the journey by arriving at in a new place. In order to create such a place, pick out 3 of the following natures or choose randomly. Each of these natures will serve as one of the building blocks of that place. Natures are elements that will literally or metaphorically represent various aspects of our place. After you've selected 3 natures, consult them, starting with page 131, and make choices for them. Make conversation out of it, tossing around ideas and mixing things together. These natures determine the look and feeling of a place, and you are welcome to interpret these natures as literally or as metaphorically as you would like. For example, while your place might be literally a hillock, it might also be, metaphorically, a tower. So how are we feeling? Are we gonna roll?
I say make chat roll.
There is certainly one person in the chat, I believe. It's not
Well,
us.
then, it means their vote is the only one that matters right now.
I mean,
That's just my suggestion. If it's not doable, then it's not doable.
I don't we.
Damn, see what happens when you don't show up to vote? Sorry, was that too close to home?
All right. Do you have any dice handy on you, Aurora, or what? Somebody want to give me some D6s?
I mean, I literally have an entire thing of dice right in front of me.
All right, give me a D6, Mitha.
One moment. I turned the camera on, but I don't
doesn't
know
really
how
help.
you make it so that the stream can say. Yeah. All right. So a D6. 5.
All right. Give me another one.
It's the same one, but I'm re-rolling. It's a 1.
All right. Our first place has a bridge, or is a bridge. We can go over to the place sheet. And write the natures in here. It is a bridge. There is a bridge. I guess give me a give me 2d6, or if you want to roll.
It's like, if Aurora doesn't, I will.
Azure, do you want to roll or no?
Yeah.
All right. Give me.
I got a 3.
All right. Give me another one.
2.
All right. Our second option is a glen. Don't actually know what that is.
A glen is like a clearing or a pasture. It's a gap in trees where the sunlight filters through.
Okay. Interesting.
A place where animals often hang out.
Animals. We are the
Yes, sir.
animals, in fact.
We are indeed the aminals in this particular case.
Is the stream dropping frames for y'all?
It does.
It was, but I reset it, and now it's fine. For me, anyway.
What's the status that it's giving you?
Uh,
Does it say quality excellent or unstable?
It's the bytes that I've been dropping. Okay, I've reset it, and it looks like it's back.
Okay. How do you do that without shutting down OBS?
I've just reloaded the stream, and it kind of just fixed itself. I don't know.
Ah, okay.
Sorry, Aurora, did you roll and post something in chat? Because I didn't see it. Did any of y'all see that?
I just saw Aurora say cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have dice and I'm not afraid to use them.
All right. Well, if it's a buffer delay, or what's the issue, I don't know. But you're rolling. Oh, 2 and a 6. Cool.
There we go.
Well, I need the two separate numbers, specifically.
Don't worry. I have a player that does that all the time. It's like, hey, roll 2d6, and they give me the total. It's like, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I need the actual numbers. Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
I understand the the reflexive need to do arithmetic, but
Oh, I
There's
don't.
not.
Arithmetic ain't got shit on me. 4 and a 6. Lovely. So it's also a swamp.
Swampy.
So it is a...
What are you doing in my swamp?
It is a bridge, it is a swamp, and it is a glen. Interesting. Alright. Once we got a pretty good idea what this place will look like, we'll go around and have everyone say one common type of animal folks that live in the area. We need... These things have definitions. Natures. There's a bunch of more of these that's not in that chart. We didn't. Interesting. Alright, so the first one I picked was bridge. So let's go to bridge. A bridge is from a passage from one place to the next. This place can always describe the distance to the other side. It's really interesting that characters can do this and players. And like places.
I feel like it needs to be a fairly significant distance for a bridge to exist in a swamp.
Well, the bridge can be theoretical.
The bridge is in your mind, man.
Offer someone an easier way. It could be like it could be as simple as the bridge is like a connection between the glen and the swamp, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, that would make sense to me. Bridge in your mind, man.
Offer someone an easier way, give someone a token if they don't take it. And then there's static and all right. Azure. Let's pick
Yes.
2 of the aesthetic elements from here.
From what? Where?
Or choose 1 of the aesthetic elements for bridge that this area has.
What page?
It's going to be page 156 on the document, 167 in the PDF.
Waiting for it to load.
I guess you can go there too, Mika.
You said bridge, right?
Yes.
You know, since it's a swamp, I'm gonna pick a mighty creature hiding underneath for bridge.
In churning waters far below.
Alright, you want churning waters.
Waits for Cat to add a cute sea monster.
Oh no, a girl you can kiss.
And then Cat's like, well, if you guys don't want to, I will.
The choose 1 folklore for this place. The Fox and the Toad Crossing. I kind of like that. As the folklore. Okay, our next one is Glen, which is going to be page 149. A glen is a place of overflowing with creatures and bugs, alive with movement and presence.
Now you've got a description.
Yeah.
There you go.
A glen can always describe a world teeming with life. So the swamp could be a glen.
Yeah. Never said it couldn't. These things can absolutely both be true at once.
Sorry, I'm just kind of filling this out as we go through. Describe a world teeming with life. Show a conflict between wild creatures. Introduce a new buggy creature. Give someone a token if they engage with it as an equal. That's so cute.
That is fucking adorable.
Does it get all of these? Like, damn, I'm running out of space. All right. Roger, pick the folklore about this area.
About the bridge?
About the Glen.
I haven't found it yet.
Page 149.
I went in the wrong direction.
Do you not have, like, a bookmark thing in your PDF viewer?
I do, but I thought it would, if I scrolled down, I would find it. I just went the wrong direction.
This game, or this PDF has very good denotated chapters that help you find stuff very quickly.
Also, if you click on stuff in the table of contents, it will go directly there.
Yeah.
Which is a sign of a very well-made PDF, to be honest.
For Glenn, you said folklore, right?
Yeah.
I like The Day the Woods Walked.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
We're gonna talk about it and figure out what that means.
I'm sure we'll find out pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We get to decide that.
I'm gonna pick soaring dragonflies for aesthetic elements, because I like that.
Are they large? Or perhaps even large?
They're probably the size of, like, a golden retriever to a human. Like that kind of scale. These aren't elephant sized to humans, but they're like golden retriever sized to humans.
Okay. Make sure to put that in the note. Me over here trying to encourage us to take notes.
Hey, I'm writing all this stuff down too, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have been doing exactly that.
Good.
All right. What's your choice for Glenn? Nitha, for aesthetic elements.
Blink? You want my opinion? Okay.
I always want your opinion, Nitha.
I never don't want to hear about your opinions and hyperfixations.
Well, I was sort of, remember earlier when it talked about one person who feels like they're talking too much and how it's like they just they should sort of abdicate and let other people talk? That's sort of what I felt. And it's like I felt like I was talking too much, and so I was sort of letting everybody else talk.
Well, I'm
I don't
giving you
think you're
space
talking
to
too
talk.
much.
Okay, I'm currently scrolling up to 139.
149.
149. Okay. That's part of my problem. And you want 2 aesthetic elements?
I want a aesthetic element. I picked one already.
You picked soaring dragonflies?
Yes.
A feral and remarkable creature that no one has seen for hundreds of years.
Love.
It sort of has like shades of like Alice in Wonderland to me.
Yeah. There's not enough spaces for the things. Wah.
Well, then we make more spaces.
Yes.
Am I wrong though?
No. Swamp.
Swamp. Swamp,
This
swamp,
place
swamp,
can
swamp.
always describe the heaviness of the world. That's good.
Damn.
So what you're saying is the world is a swamp.
Damn right.
I never took notes and still managed to pass with mostly B's on memory. Damn, wish I had that power.
When I was a kid, I had much better memory. Then I got older. Getting
And
older
traumatized.
sucks. Yeah, and traumatized and autistic.
Well, you didn't become autistic. You were already autistic, don't babe.
Oh,
It just
yeah,
unlocked.
this is true. It's just like I leveled up, and I just got it as a side benefit. It's just the memory loss, you know?
Yeah.
Looking at the passage of time, like, look what you did to a perfectly good woman. You gave her anxiety and trauma.
To be fair, that wasn't the passage of time that did that. That was people.
Porque no los dos.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just saying, you know?
Are you now?
Sometimes these things are done by people. Flawed people.
All right. Nitha, it's your turn for the folklore.
Okay, what would you like me to pick?
It's your decision to pick. We all got to
Okay.
pick one of the folklores in the swamp, which is page 153, 164 in the PDF.
Okay.
Make it so.
Also, just look at this fucking art.
I know, I'm looking at it.
So good.
I'm just... What I'm unclear is, like, okay, there's 3 different sections under the swamp. Which one should I be picking from?
The folklore section.
Okay. Treacherous and steep in the dark. The traveling log. The shrewest witch in her magic cabin. I personally like the treacherous lights deep in the dark. Because I think that has, like, some serious potential to it. For, like, a story.
All right.
Or an adventure, you know?
Going on an adventure.
I'm going on an adventure!
All right. Aesthetic elements.
The heavy fog.
Well, it's Azure and I, because we basically what I did is each person got to pick one of the folklore, and for the other 2, they picked aesthetic elements, if that makes sense.
I didn't know. I didn't know how you were doing this.
No worries. Azure.
I do not know unless you communicate these things to me.
I tried to, just did.
Okay.
What of the static elements from the swamp do you want to pick?
Swamp.
Swampy.
You said aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. I like a heavy fog and a cunning and tricksy spirit offering to help.
That's literally the one I said.
Oh, well,
No,
That's okay.
You're good.
that's my favorite. I forgot.
It's just same brain cell, you know?
It's very funny.
Memory so short term it couldn't even get on the kiddie rides at the amusement parks.
You're okay. It's just I was just amused that we had the exact same brain cell. Oh, I heard that yawn. You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So that's all of the choices for...
Just doing a check-in.
Yes. We did bedrocks, we did traits, we did natures. Our first place. We went through that. Once you've got a pretty good
We
idea
should
of what
name this place.
Yes. So some of the ideas I was thinking about was... So maybe this is like kind of a city built on stilts that is kind of like a traveling... It's a long bridge across this swamp that was originally untraversable. And it kind of connects two cities together that were... And within this connection, a bit of a community formed around this. And there's lots
I like that.
wildlife around and things like that. But yeah. Initially it started off with this like long rickety wooden structure. But then it was slowly reinforced throughout the days, and it has become somewhat of a bed of people and, teeming with creatures.
People.
Furries. So,
The brain cell is shared.
Mm-hmm.
we were thinking about us naming this place. What do we think? Does anybody have any suggestions?
The Toxel Bog.
Sure.
The Fog Friend Swamp.
I see nothing wrong with either of these names. Which one should we go with?
Good question.
The Fog Friend is the name of the name of the inn that we're staying in.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
The Toxelbog.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. You make some interesting noises.
Someone had to.
So, folklore. The folklore of a place might openly contradict the stories that you always heard about your homes, but they might clash against other folklore from neighboring places. Folklore is inconsistent, but folklore should be proven wrong. It's just a part of the conversation between the soil and the people who dwell on top of it. It should be taken with a grain of salt and given its respect.
I like that.
And once we got a pretty good idea of what this place looks like, we go around and have everyone say one common type of animal folk that live in the area. This doesn't mean that everyone in this place is, for example, a salamander. It just means that if we're in a hurry, we can imagine some nudish friends. Then the person who spoke least during this entire process describes what forms the many small and forgotten gods in this place take. Last but not least, give this place a name.
I'm going to point out that it sort of feels like there's an incentive to not speak during this process.
What do you mean?
It's a balance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's...
Yeah.
I
Go
would say
ahead.
that it's more trying to encourage the more talkative players to include those who are less talkative.
Here's the thing. Who among us is not talkative?
I mean, I would say Azure's the least talkative of the three of us.
For
Okay.
now.
This is also more than, honestly, new player-friendly mechanics, as opposed to where we are at as a group. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this is the first game you're playing with somebody and they're a little shy, this is giving them an opportunity to be a part of the story. That's how I see it, at least.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, I think the first obvious thing is frogs. Frogs and
Yeah,
toads.
that's what I was thinking.
Frog friends.
Frogs or geckos, one of the two.
Frog friends.
I like
frog
frogs,
friends.
toads, and geckos.
frogs that may or may not be fabulous.
Or that's just a blessing. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. You've been chosen.
Chosen by Cat.
Yoinks. Our arm, comrade.
Comrade, your arm has been possessed by the society.
Our arm. Kind of like what my cat does every night. He'll just curl up in my arm like a little football.
I feel like somebody needs to insert the Russian national anthem at this point. Our arm, comrade.
Who do we feel has spoken the least out of this process? It's not me.
I mean, it's kind of a tie between me and Mitha then.
And honestly, I lack the perspective to know whether I've been talking more than Azure.
I'm gonna say that Azure's been talking slightly less. So,
Okay, then Azure goes.
I believe you.
describe the forms of the many small and forgotten gods this place.
In the swamp?
Yeah, in our bog area.
Tuxelbog.
I definitely say they've got to be kind of either made or look like some of the surrounding like trees and foliage, like little twig and leaf fairies. And they're so easy to miss, and maybe that's why they're forgotten.
Twig and leaf fairies, they blend in like stick bugs. Once we have our place, some kith, and each other, we are nearly ready to play. All we have to do is answer some questions together. Every time we gather, we will answer these questions before playing. What sort of place did we just travel from? I think we... have just traveled maybe from the capital. Maybe that we're quite early on in our journey. I don't know. We said it's been 10 years since the war.
Mm-hmm.
So Crumb and Protector have probably been traveling for 10 years. I don't know. What do you think, Azure?
I mean, sounds good to me.
Traveling together?
Maybe they left because the war got a little too close to home.
Yeah.
And they were forced to evacuate.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of, maybe this place will be okay, and then they stay for a while, and then Protector's like, no, we're leaving. Something happens, and it upsets.
It's like, no, I don't like this place. Let's keep going.
Yeah. They'll spend a couple months in each place, and they keep looking for home or whatever. And occasionally it's Crumb will say something or whatever, but like...
It's always right after Crumb says, I've got a good feeling about this place that something happens.
Yeah. Exactly.
Knowing his luck.
Unlucky should be a trait.
Probably is.
A glaring lack of foresight, you mean?
It is not a trait. Interesting. When that's listed, at least. All right.
Do.
So knowing that, where did we just travel from? I do think it'd be interesting if it was like the first time we had recently gone home. For whatever reason. We wanted to see what has happened, you know?
Yeah.
So I like that we had recently traveled from the big city. Do we feel our journey has been long? Yes. At least it has for me. What about you two?
Question. How am I included in this question?
Well, you could have
Like-
traveled from somewhere else. We could have just met. What do you think?
I'm thinking that y'all were sort of traveling together for like 10 years, but my arrival was very recent. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
Um,
Sense made.
Maybe we were in the streets, and then you tried to steal from, and I've made, and now you're traveling with us because I refused to let you hurt somebody else who's innocent, as we said.
I was starving. I was hungry.
Yeah, and you were fed.
And yeah, it's just I tried to steal like a pastry, and it's just like, no, we want the pastry. It's like, no, I was trying to get your gold. It's like, oh, you can have the gold.
It's like, oh, you can have the gold.
And then it's like an actual meal is had.
It's like, there are many pastries, but this one will be mine.
I feel like there's sort of relationship where it's like she will not eat sometimes if somebody else is hungry, to the point of neglecting her own health.
Damn, it's almost like that's a thing that some of us tend to do sometimes.
Yeah.
So, do you feel what place have you just traveled from? Then, or did we meet you in the city also?
We met in the city.
Okay, so we had
However,
just traveled from the city. Has your journey been long?
I don't think it's been nearly as long.
Yeah.
She's been what happened to the city in the war?
Destroyed.
She's from the city.
Yeah. She's been here the whole time. She's been here the whole time.
She's been here the whole time.
She's been here the whole time.
She's been trying to survive on her own. She doesn't really have anybody else. The place that she is from is destroyed. She doesn't really have anywhere else better to go when they say, "You're coming with us." So she's just like, okay.
All right.
I don't really have any other like alternatives or better ideas or better suggestions or other goals, so
What's that Star Wars meme? It's like, you are being adopted into our party. Do not resist.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the oh god, I forget the designation on that droid, but yeah, I know what you're referencing.
Our party has decided we like you. Do not resist.
You are being rescued. Congratulations. Do not resist. Plunk. Hits you across the head.
Yeah, there's a bit in Dimension 20 that's like that too. It's like, am I being kidnapped? No. Can I leave? No.
Also, no.
Essentially, yes.
Well, yes, but actually, no.
Yeah. Is there somewhere we hope to go? I would like each of us to answer this for our characters.
I had a thought, but then I forgot how to phrase it, and then while I was trying to wrestle it into a communicable sentence, it disappeared.
I mean, I can go. I think
I have an answer. I'm just waiting for my turn.
I think Protector deep down wants to
A
go
home that we won't
somewhere
have to leave.
where they feel safe. That they can rest. Somewhere where they feel safe and they can finally take the rest that they want. Nitha?
I mean, sort of the same idea. It's like she's looking for a place that, she can actually settle down, make a life for herself, feel safe, and not feel hunted. I don't know. I had sort of the same idea there, honestly.
Yeah.
I think we're all on sort of the same brain wavelength on that one.
Same thought.
THOTT.
And with that, I think we'll take a good little break. Probably
Okay.
take like a 10-minute break here. Maybe get some snacks, some other fairies things. Hop on break, and we'll be back.
Who is the snack? That's the question.
I mean, from probably, I don't know.
All right. Be right back.
Why? Yeah.
James Starson is on. Girls Run These Worlds is on. Let's just at least talk to the players before we raid out,
Yes. We have come
or
back.
to the stream. Yes.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
My depression decided that it's time to raid out.
It decided to rear its head once again.
And what we were telling the DM was like, do not feel like you need to press yourself to go further if you are not emotionally up to it. Because, you know, we're big on self-care here, and we're going to be coming back to this on Friday anyway, so maybe a little bit of, like, air will help, yeah?
Yeah. Exactly. Let's go say hi to Cyanosis. That sounds like a good idea.
Yes. By all indications from Silver, Cyanosis is good bean.
Yes. Raid the good bean.
Raid the good bean. As opposed to, I don't know.
But yeah, if you like this stream, make sure to tell us by poking us on Blue Sky. I would say Blue Sky and Twitter, but we're slowly trying to move away from Twitter and the dumpster fire that it is.
Yeah. We are on Blue Sky. I'm actually trying to put out notifications on my personal Blue Sky when it's like streams are or are not happening, as a form of just like, hey, we are communicating, you know? Also, like, my personal Twitch channel has a Discord where I also put out information about this, so it's like, that is also an option. Anyway.
Alright. We're gonna raid out. Bye!
And there we go. Okay.
I do have a fun story. Y'all would be so proud of me. I made another masculine male RP character recently. The scale has been tipped one pebble back to balanced.
That stream is not streaming for me.
It gave me an error, and I had to reset, and it worked for a little while, and now it's glitching again.
Did the raid happen?
Yes.
I don't actually see...